Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my 2014 NFL Draft Team Needs Analysis, and this video is for the New Orleans Saints, who finished the 2013 regular season with a record of 11-5, earning one of the wild card spots in the NFC. And as this video is being taped, they're preparing for their divisional round matchup this weekend against the Seattle Seahawks. And when I start to dissect the needs of the Saints in the draft coming up, I start on the offensive side of the ball. And I start at tackle because of the nature that they have two free agents that played a lot of snaps for them at the tackle position coming up here in 2014. Zach Strife, Charles Brown, both free agents. You have Teron Armstead, who they drafted last year, getting a lot of snaps here towards the end of the season. If they choose to bring back either of those guys, one of those guys, or zero of the two guys I just mentioned, Strife and Brown, I still think they're going to need to beef up the tackle spot, if not for depth purposes, maybe even for a starter, depending on how the free agency goes with those two guys. I would think they would keep Strife if they had to pick one of the two, because he's had a very strong season this season, particularly in pass protection. But again, just to build depth. And when you have a guy like a Drew Brees, a pocket passer, to me, you definitely need that third offensive tackle, right? Sort of like the role Armstead has this year. He was the third tackle, and look how much late in the season they've had to use him in crucial spots. So offensive tackle would be a need as I see it on the offensive side of the ball. I think when you go to defense, they could get some depth, or even if in the first round maybe they see a guy they can plug in as a starter at the cornerback position. And I've been bringing up cornerback for a lot of teams that have the need, because this is supposed to be a particularly deep cornerback class coming out in the draft. You already have Keenan Lewis, who you picked up last year in free agency, who's proved to be a good acquisition. You obviously have Kenny Vaccaro, who's hurt, all right, but is going to be a staple of that secondary for years to come. Now, if they could get another young corner to go opposite Keenan Lewis, either a guy to start from day one or a guy as a depth guy, maybe a nickel guy to start who can grow into that starting outside cornerback spot, I think that would be in their best interest to explore that need here. They're a team that is in the top 5 in the NFL in sacks this year. And I just think if they can improve the back end of that defense even more, think about how much stronger of a unit they could be in 2014, a unit that's been greatly improved under Rob Ryan from 2012 to 2013. And the last need I would see for the Saints is at the outside linebacker spot. Because you have a team in the Saints that went to a 3-4 this year. And normally when teams go from a 4-3 to a 3-4, they go through a transition. They go through a transition in their personnel, where maybe, there's 4 good linebackers right now for the Saints, but maybe the depth isn't where it needs to be, because you can't fill all your needs, in one offseason. And I just think if they can get an additional outside linebacker, doesn't have to be, in my eyes, a pass rush specialist necessarily, but just a steady, solid, outside linebacker that maybe, is a guy that maybe his forte is not just pass rushing or, in coverage. Maybe a guy that does, a well-rounded outside linebacker is more the kind of guy I'm talking about. Maybe they can get a guy like that in the draft again to add some depth here. So, again, the 3 areas I see of need, most notably at that offensive tackle spot, and then building depth at the cornerback spot on defense, and also the outside linebacker spot as well. Guys, let me know where you think the Saints need to improve most, where you see their needs and where they lie. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. I'm doing a needs analysis video like this for all 32 teams, so be sure to subscribe. Thanks again for listening. Have a great night.